Open the joint meeting and call the city meeting to order.
Call the parish council meeting to order.
We welcome you to a special joint meeting of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the speaker form or call in to 337-291-8428 to submit your information to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolutions and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If you're interested, call 337-291-8800. 291-8800. Chair announcements. If you call 337-291-8428 prior to reading of items, you will be contacted to speak during the public comment portion of the agenda item for which you sign up to speak. Absent is Brian Tabert, Parish District 1. Item number 7, JO071-2020, Shared Mobility Devices, Final Adoption. Legal has submitted an amendment to change in Section 98204D1. The program administrator's fee from $175 to $120 per shared mobility device. Item number 7, JO-071-2020, Shared Mobility Device, Final Adoption. Councilman Andy Knockin has submitted amendment to change the age from 15 years of age to 16 years of age in Section 98207-A-2. Item number 9, Mayor President Direct Appointment to Harmon Center and Fred F. Bustani Convention Center Board is being deferred indefinitely as the appointment was withdrawn effectively today. Item number 10, Mayor President Direct Appointment to the Benjamin Thruway Redevelopment Team is being deferred indefinitely as the appointment was withdrawn effectively today. I would like to wish happy birthday to Paul Escott, City-Parish Assistant Attorney, who will celebrate his birthday on August 14th.
Happy birthday, Paul.
He's sitting to my left. This is a special joint meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council and Lafayette City Council. At times during the meeting, I will defer to the Parish Council Chair to preside over Parish Council matters. I do not have any announcement at this time. Mr. Rubin, I see you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Chair. If you know me, I'm always speaking inclusiveness and togetherness. On today, as y'all see that the Mayor President took someone off of the list for the appointment today, and this particular personnel had a very derogatory or unfavorable, should I say, thing going on Facebook. So, since I'm talking inclusive, that's why I didn't want to use the term racist. Yes, okay. And so she was removed, and I called the Mayor President, and he immediately removed her, and I would like to thank you for not allowing anyone to come and be on any board to represent LCG with as Ms. Margie put it, racist comments or actions. So thank you for that, Madam President.
Okay, we'll move along to Executive Mayor President report. So I'm going to recognize Mayor President Mr. Guillory.
Councilman Rubin, thank you too for your, not just your support, but your ongoing, look, our partnership, and we're in this, no one's perfect, and, but there was also some movement today by our parish council in unity with our city council. I know there's a lot of dialogue about the situation at hand with the recreation centers that we all want to see open and operational, and I thought it took a lot of hard work on the side of the parish council to find the $200,000 that hasn't been appropriated yet. There'll be a special meeting on Monday, but I would be shocked to see if there's any objection to that. So a lot of good teamwork with both councils. I appreciate your leadership, your partnership, your guidance, and picking up the phone earlier today. Councilman, that meant a lot to me, and I appreciate you. To the chairs, I have nothing, nothing further to report. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Move along to resolutions. This is a public hearing, and speakers form are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply.
Put it on.
Cindy, can you read item number 3, please?
Joint Resolution 19-2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing a non-warranty cash sale of 205 Sunny Street to an adjoining landowner pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 472202B for the price of the sale's anticipated costs.
Okay, I need a motion and a second from the city council, please. Motion by Mr. Andy Nakane and second by Ms. Liz.
Okay, I need a motion and a second from the parish council. Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson.
Council discussions? I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from each council to adopt the resolution.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt by the city council is approved. The motion to adopt by the parish council is approved.
Continue reading, Ms. Cindy, please.
Joint
number 4.
Resolution 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing waiver of all taxes, penalties, interest, and other charges and liens in order to facilitate below appraised value sale of that property at 107 Francis Avenue, platted Lot 3 of Bayou Oaks subdivision.
Need a motion and a second from the city council. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Glenn Lazar.
Need a motion by the parish council, please? Got a motion by Councilman A.B. Rubin and a second by Councilman Gilbo.
Council discussion? See none. Ms. Williams, public comments?
No, sir.
Call for the vote to adopt the resolution.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
City District 1,
Yes.
Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt by the city council is approved. The motion to adopt by the parish council is approved.
Report in our discussion items. Update on KN Open Channel contract and service provided. Okay, Mr. Mayor, President, you have the floor.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we bring up Mr. Ed Bowie, Executive Director of AOC. Thank you for being here, sir.
It's a privilege and a pleasure. My name is Ed Bowie. Fortunately, I get to be the Executive Director at AOC Community Media, formerly known as Acadiana Open Channel. And I'm here tonight, and I take this as a real privilege, an opportunity and a privilege, and thank goodness I'm going to get some help on my little slide presentation. This is an experiment for me. I usually go extemporaneously. Yes, I appreciate that because I was about to pass out. But extemporaneously doesn't always work for me because I curse a whole lot. So I've created a script that I hope I'll be able to give you all the information you need to know rather quickly. I appreciate your time. I know that you've been through some meetings that are far longer than they needed to be, so I will keep this to the point. I'll be here to answer all your questions, but I really, really encourage you, if you have a question or a curiosity about what AOC is, how we do it, or more importantly, how to take advantage of it, get in touch with us. We do things that you're all going to learn something here tonight. I guarantee you. AOC is a mystery to many, many people. You've heard of it. You know of Acadiana Open Channel. You may have known of some of our legacy as providers of free speech to people that we didn't want to hear from. And that's why we're here. We're here for the voices that you don't want to hear. And that's aggravating, and it's why I have gray hair. I'm really only 31 years old. I don't look like this. I deal with the public quite a bit. But this, I'm going to give you the details. I'm going to stumble because I'm trying to read, and I don't do this very well in the reading part. But we've taken our COVID stuff pretty seriously, and our board of directors would like to be here tonight, but I beg them not to come. You don't need to look at more faces supporting what I'm going to thrill you with, but they would like to be here. How do we do the slideshow? Do I press this over here? Can you hear me from here?
Ed, you could either sit in the middle and advance it and talk into the mic, or...
Okay.
Okay,
Well, if I'd known I was going to be sitting, I wouldn't have worn clean pants, but since I'm down here, let's see if we can make this thing go. AOC was formed in 1982 by the Cable Act of 82, and that Cable Act, when it was written and when it was endorsed by the FCC, was put into law, and it required quite a few things of the cable franchise permitter that they could ask those cable companies to provide, and it's not going. Press a different button. Okay, at home, I swear this worked. All right, there you go. We just skipped over the franchise agreement, little slide of this franchise agreement, but I'll tell you what it says. Franchising authority, which would be the city back in 1982, has the right to ask the cable company to provide certain services. Among those services would be school drops and emergency contact information. They run our street light system here in town. They can connect hospitals. It depends on what the franchise authority asks for. And the FCC specifically outlined, and this is a key phrase, that PEG would be allowed for. PEG stands for government, educational, and government. The thinking would be that if the government is going to provide cable companies access to free rights-of-way, those rights-of-way should make something available to the public in terms of access to that right-of-way. Now, it's one thing for the franchising authority to say, Mr. Cable Company, you can run a cable from District 5 to District 1 and dig through and tie off on our telephone poles and everything. And you have to give the public access to that cable. Well, it's easy to say, but when it comes to doing it, you need an entity to manage that. Bingo bongo, that's why AOC is here. We are the PEG management system that the franchise agreements allow for, that control and insulate government from what is a fundamentally, and this is important, and I should keep up with my slides here. It's a big deal at AOC that we're a free speech organization, and that's why we're here. We're on cable because the cable companies realized that we had to have connectivity and that communities negotiate their deals, their contracts. Let's be frank, people keep an eye on you by virtue of what they can get out of their media. We're here to give them eyes on you. And I don't want to bite the hand that I hope will feed me, but that's one of the many reasons we're here. That democratic process is a big deal. And free speech is a fundamental purpose of why we're here, and I will assure you that in your time, and many of you are new, you will get a phone call and somebody's going to say, you're my director, you're my representative, and you got to go over there and shoot this Ed Bowie guy because he let somebody say so-and-so. Call me and I'll tell you the answer that you should tell them. It's a free speech situation. You can do one of three things. You can go on the air at AOC and do it yourself, which is the speech idea is that the second person gets to speak. We manage that. Or you can file charges if you wish, and if you've got a legal complaint, those charges will work their way through the court. Or thirdly, you can do something that you'll never hear another TV person say this. You can turn us off. We really don't care if you don't watch as long as people get to speak. That's what we want people to do. We're referred to in the contract that created as soapbox in the town square. We are where people, and particularly people on the fringes of the economic spectrum, or maybe the power players. We want to hear from those people who don't have a voice anywhere else. All right, we're going to move right along here for your sake and mine. What do we do? What's this all about? What is AOC? We're a nonprofit organization managed by that board of directors, and we maintain studios downtown. Most of you have seen them, and I encourage you to come look at them in the Rosa Parks Transportation Center. We do everything we do on a first-come, first-service basis. Nobody's discriminated against except by age, and you can have somebody sign for you. And our signal is carried on cable on all 5 channels, and that's kind of an important thing that we need to thank Cox Communication for. Our contract is in Lafayette Parish, and we are guaranteed coverage and carry on both LUS and Cox here in Lafayette. If you get out to the other parishes, the cable company, Cox in particular, who services those areas, says this is a value added to our constituents, so we're going to carry you anyway. So when you do something here tonight, people in New Iberia can see it, and when somebody with a nonprofit here offers services that somebody in New Iberia might need, they can see that. So thanks in part to Cox, we go to all the parishes south of I-10, I guess would be one way to put it. Last year we did 1,400 hours of free content per day, or per month rather. That's we're on 24/7, 2 channels, and I hit my slide thing all wrong, and I'm messing this all up, y'all. But if you go back to the slide before this one, which I don't know how to do, it was a fellow with a microphone, a megaphone, and that is in fact what we're most known for. We are the voice amplifiers. We're where the people come to do their poetry, or their speaking, or their influencing, or their politicking, or they're campaigning, or they're complaining about the politicians that they'd let talk to them in the first place. Our programming, last year we did just under $1,700,000 worth of TV time. All that was in the hands of the public or the government or education. Remember, we furnish public, which is why you know us, education, when we're over at the school board right now helping Mark Cabo install new equipment. We handle education, and we have a whole division set up to help you guys, you ladies and gentlemen. We are at your service as government officials to do town halls, to have call-in programs. If you need production that's out of your skill set, you can call us. The mayor conducted a town hall meeting just the other day. We've worked with some of you in that capacity in the past, and in the future, if you've got something you need the public to know, you should come to us. We are at the very least a megaphone and an additional microphone in the current arsenal. And keeping with that, what we do with the 2 TV channels that we manage, right now we're doing something that we're really proud of. When the pandemic hit, schools kicked kids out, and they said, uh-oh, we got 4,800 kids in our parish that don't have any access to the internet. What are we going to do? AOC, in partnership with the school system and the United Way, we're running 6 hours of high-quality educational program every day, graded out by and submitted. All this has been submitted by teachers. And so at the very least, we put, I don't want to say we're closing the digital divide, which is something I would like to address with you folks at another day. But the digital divide is being at least somewhat taken care of in partnership with the school board, the United Way, and then taking advantage of AOC's channels. Without us, those kids, that 4,800 kids who do have cable, would have even fewer options, if that's imaginable. Okay, another thing we're big on is we're real tight with UL. We teach classes there. Their students use our facilities. We handle the stuff that they create. And we frequently will record and distribute their visiting professors and scholarships, stuff like that. So we've got great partnerships going with the university. We do a lot of election coverage. In this particular election coverage, this was a 3-way partnership. You'll see the KAT signs in there. They wanted to do, in partnership with the one at Acadiana and UL, they wanted to do a political forum. KATC didn't have the capability of going live without some help, so we stepped in and were able to help those 3, the KATC, one Acadiana, and UL, make that forum go live. And you can see this is a 15-year-old kid that's got volunteer written on his back, and he's handling the main camera in that shoot for us. And that's pretty much how we make things happen. We have volunteers to help us. And in this case, we played with 3 partners. And I don't know if y'all can see, but some of y'all might be in that picture. I don't know what debate that was. We do radio rating. Let me slow down here. We have a radio and internet radio station and a podcast network, and we use those in our own sake. We have a reading for the reading impaired, those people who don't either have the time or the ability to do any reading. In partnership with the Morning Advocate, we run every day. We read the news that you don't get anywhere else, and that includes the weird stuff like obituaries and funerals and so forth. But that's a small but important audience, and we have volunteer readers that take care of that 5 days a week, and we're really pretty happy about that. Our podcast network has about 20 individual podcasts going on at a time, and that's something else I would encourage you is people who need to be in contact with their constituents, you might call us to help you with podcasts. They're easy and they're impactful. All right, we record local and preserve local culture. I think everybody knows we're a big deal with the festival, but if you've got virtually any kind of social or cultural presentation that you invite us to, and we can find time and volunteers, we'll get that recorded. And we maintain an incredible archive that we're trying to convert to digital right now. That Lafayette has a great, colorful history since videotape is recorded, and we have a good bit of it on tape. And I'm starting to feel like I'm going long. We got a lot to do, and I'm going to skip a little quicker. We do a weekly workshop for teenagers. This particular picture is not teenagers, but we do workshops for other kids too. But the weekly workshop for teenagers, Muse, we do that throughout the school year, and it's very popular. Everything to do with media. Another thing we're known for, you can see down at the bottom line here, $1,946,000 worth of facilities were put in the hands of the public. People come to us every day, ask for equipment to produce their program. We teach them to use it. They check that equipment out, bada bing, they make a program. Last year alone, that was $1,446,000 worth of equipment. And that's all in the hands of the public. We do charge you, if you're using our equipment, membership fee. It's as high as $60 for a whole year, and you have access to 2 TV studios and 24 portable cameras and audio equipment at no additional charge. And that $60 is if you're not a veteran, not a student, and not over 65, and there are work releases for that. So the cost of doing any of this is no impediment to anybody. We do live coverages, believe it or not. We are all starring on TV right now. We do live coverages of all these meetings and your budget meetings. Sidebar, thank you for sitting through those. And as well as I mentioned earlier, we do the school board. We, in fact, and this is a brag straight up, we paid for and installed all the video equipment in here. We're currently at Jamie's office helping him install his media room, and then, like I said earlier, we've got people at the school board helping over there. We do town hall meetings, and I'll point out to the little picture on the left, that was Robideau's town hall meeting, his mayor's report. That was the big deal at the Hyman Center, and then this is an invitation over here to one of Josh's, the new guy, this fellow here. Sorry. I'm still living back in when Kenny Bourne was here. Can't believe I said that out loud either. But we do carry those town hall meetings, and this goes back explicitly to this group right here. If you need to talk to your constituents, let us help you do it. Even if it's going out on Facebook, let us make you look better on Facebook. It's just something that we're here to do for you. And as government people, you can take advantage of that. If you come to us as an individual, you go through a different pathway and you do it yourself. These 2 particular pictures represent that we are very, very interested in local. You don't get a whole lot of national stuff unless a local person brought it to us. These 2 particular meetings are an example. That's an I-49 discussion, I think, up on the top right, and on the lower left over here is Acadiana Planning Commission conducted something to do with engineering and water and sewage, and not sewage, but drainage through the Vermilion and so forth, and we were able to get those things in front of the public. I promise I'm getting to the end. We do a community message board that I'm going to skip because it's a video and it runs a long time, but last year we created PSAs for 100 different nonprofits, and those are PSAs. Those are not services like recording their presentations and so forth. We teach digital media production. That's one of the classes we do, and media literacy productions in schools. This happens to be us out at Lafayette High School. Media literacy is a problem in our community. You all know what fake news is, but you all don't know how often you consume it, and we devote a lot of time and energy to trying to teach that. In addition to making media, we want you to be a smarter consumer. Now, just for a quick transition, this is a picture of some cats, and I'm giving you this so you can all just shake a leg. You know, when you were in school, you had to take a break. Take a look at my cats. They're not all here anymore. They're all fixed, too. Don't blame me. Here's what you wanted to know. Let's get to the bottom line, Bowie. Hurry the heck up. How is AOC funded? That top row up there, those 4 organizations, that's the state of Louisiana, City of Lafayette, Cox, and LUS have all formed relationships through franchise agreements. And those franchise agreements call for the things that we mentioned earlier. Franchise payment, they pay a fee of 3% of their gross. 3% of their gross would come to the city, and then the city takes 2/3 of that and sends 1/3 to us. And this next slide, I think, will show you a little bit of that. Well, let's go back. This slide shows you the franchise agreements. Those groups have franchise agreements, and AOC's agreement is not part of, but we're the recipient of those franchise agreements. Our management agreement, which is the contract we're going to ask you to extend, takes advantage of that franchise agreement, takes advantage of that cash flow through. Last year, this coming year, we expect to collect on our end, and we expect those franchise fees to contribute $520,000 to us. Last year, they contributed $528,000. We anticipate that going down. I noticed in the proposed budget that was submitted, the formula from last year was still used, and the city's expecting to give us a little more money than that. We collect the lower fee. We collect whatever franchise fees are paid, and we're anticipating it to be a little lower this year. The next source of income that we have, which is really pretty cool, these contracts up here provide PEG service fees that are paid straight to us. They technically don't have to go through the city. Cox mails you a check straight to us, and LUS sends it through the city. But we collect those funds as part of these contracts up here, not part of our management agreement. But because we are in the management agreement, I don't see if you can see my little thing wiggling around, but the 2 companies up here are required to send money to us, and that combined comes in at $256,000 a year. Gives us a grand total to operate. If things go well, of $748,000. I will mention that our funding looks real cool on paper, but it's just fallen like a stone. It's not funny to be us. No nonprofit is happy, and our fees are going down. But they are tied straight to franchise fees that are paid and collected from those companies. And now I throw myself at your mercy, and before we do this, I'm real hard of hearing, so if you're speaking and I'm not looking back at you to answer you, that's because I don't know who's talking, but I will answer you. I just can't tell who's talking. So I'm like a raw meat, and y'all are the lions. Let's have at it. Come on.
Okay, I have a question for you.
I figured you would.
Earlier you had said something about $60 a year.
A year.
So what exactly you were talking about? All the facilities that?
Mr. Lewis, if you want to put something on the cable, that's a free speech thing. You bring it to us in any form you can, and we'll convert it and put it on cable. That's free. That's the free speech part of what we do. But if you need tools, if you need to use this TV studio, if you need to use portable cameras, if you need to use portable audio equipment, stuff like that, your membership gets you access to those things. And that $60 a year is access to every tool, and that's the high price that people that are not in any of the other groups fall into. And if you only need part of the equipment, then it's as low as $25 for students. So we were talking about $250 a month or something for access to literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of production gear. And our production gear typically comes with help. We don't just say, here, take this and run with it. We have to make sure you know what you're doing. You won't hurt the equipment. We have a line where we don't help you make your program too much because we don't want to be involved in your speech. It's important that you do your own words. Don't let us influence that. We do for that $60. You can touch whatever you want.
Okay, thank you.
And we do work programs, so if you're broke, you can earn that $60. It's like the raw meat is going to win tonight, huh? Come on. Anybody at all?
Yes, sir. Just forgive me for asking, but is that a one-time fee or a yearly fee?
That's a yearly fee.
Yearly
That's
fee.
a yearly
So $60 allow you use for the whole year.
Sure.
At one time a week, and 60 minutes a week, or is there any particular limitation?
Our formulas, when we're super busy, start to divide the resource time. You can hold the resource down to as low as 3 hours in the studio at a time and overnight with cameras. Because it expands and contracts with need a little bit. Right now, our need's not very high. You can take a camera on for 2 weeks. We're not going to bother you. School comes back in session. If you're more than 10 minutes late, after 24 hours, we'll be knocking on your door begging you to hurry up. So we flex with the demand. We have turned people away because we just couldn't get them in there in time. It's all about scheduling, and sometimes you just can't schedule people in the half hour that's available for them. But that, you get more access than any individual can use, let's say that. And I will toss in, this is all non-commercial. If any of you are thinking of running down there to set up your garage sale thing or something, we can't do those kind of ads for you. But it's virtually unlimited access.
So it'd be great for a retired guy to start his comedian career over there for $60 a year. He could get all the access he wanted. That'd be fantastic.
Yes, and if you're good, yes. You could be anything.
You could be the straight man.
That's the big deal. You can be anything you want. And I've done this for 22 years. I've seen the unimaginable, and there's talent everywhere, and there's people with talent you can't believe, and information to be shared. I'm about to start saying words I shouldn't use in public, but you can express yourself in a lot of ways at AOC, and a retired person can contribute as a volunteer. I didn't put in a plug for a lot of what we do is by volunteers, and if you're looking for a way to help other people and to spend some time in meetings that are frankly way more fun than this one, you can go to a Kiwanis meeting and record their presentations and be a lot smarter and then share that information. You're going to go to the meeting anyway, why not pick a camera, become an AOC volunteer, bada bing, bada boom, the Kiwanis speaker is now in front of the whole public. That's what we do.
And what about censorship? Do y'all have any censorship? Do y'all limit things?
No, we don't. And I'll tell you, we have a few rules, and when you give us a program, you're going to tell us that it's legal in our community, that if it contains adult content, you have to disclose that. If you disclose that it contains adult content, we can play it in safe harbor hours. That's between 11 at night and 5 in the morning. We do not look at the program. If you tell us it's safe and we play it and it's not safe, well, we throw you out. Depending on the degree of not safe, you might call the district attorney again.
Right.
I've had instances, and it hasn't happened in a long time, but where I had to go to the DA and say, look, I can't say no to this guy, but it's going to be a problem. It's going to be legal. Step up and be prepared to do whatever you do, arrest him or cuff him down. Whatever you're going to do to him, let's do that. And they said, we'd really rather let this guy just get busted and do the whole thing and say what he's going to say and see how the public. We don't want to touch a First Amendment program. If you came to me and said, Mr. Bowie, take a look at this program, I would say I don't want to look at it because if I tell you it's no good, that's prior restraint.
Right.
And you can bust me for that. And if I say, hey, that's great, then I've given you implicit support. Also bad for us. So we don't want to see what you're running. We take you at your word and let the public react.
Freedom at its finest.
Say what?
Freedom at its finest.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
And it comes at a cost. It does. And people need to appreciate that. And not just a financial cost, but, you're a veteran. You went over there to fight for some free speech. I'm a veteran. I did some of it. There's a whole reason why we let people speak.
Well, you can't ask for a better source. Thank you so much, Mr. Bowie.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Carlson.
Mr. Bowie, I just want to say thank you for what you and your organization provide. I've both used your facility as well as the equipment that you rent out to people. I've worked with the groups of students at local schools who are interested in getting into video production, so I certainly appreciate it. I know you're a huge asset to our community, and so I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but this is really a way about my staff, guys. I'm here because of the people around me. I fell into the fertilizer and came up roses just across the board. But thank you for that. I
really quick question. You said if we wanted to be on Facebook and things like that to let you know you could help us look better. We have some older council members, not to mention any names. Can you help them look better on video?
We have software that can do a lot of things. Let me just say that, yeah.
I'm going to refer them to you after the council
We
meeting.
don't want to alter any truths. This guy's saying about the cut, I'm getting to close this down sign.
I'm not mentioning any names. Councilwoman Hebert might be pointing towards a few, but
Oh, come on.
thank you, Mr. Bowie. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's move on. Mr. Rubin.
Turn off his mic.
Mr. Rubin. Mr.
Anyway, so thank you once again. My question is for your nonprofit organizations. Okay, I heard you saying that y'all work with a lot of those nonprofits. What about, like, when you're helping the kids, do y'all go out there, or are the kids able to go right now to say, to learn about
That's
camera
a
work?
good question. Right now, we operate by appointment only, and we will work with small groups in limited circumstances. In what we used to refer to as normal, that we're trying to get back to, we would take, and I'll use an example of the Erica Williams's group. She would bring those kids by 20 or 30 at a time, and we would empower all of them with lessons and classes, and then they'd take off and do programs, or we would go to their facilities or their playground and help them there.
Well, that's the reason I asked, because they're in here tonight, and I was, look right there.
Well, there you go. Okay. Well, and if you
And
need
that's what I was
somebody,
referring to.
I hope I wasn't lying. Erica, have we helped you lately? There you go.
Is he
Okay.
lying?
You know, I'm not like I can, got to back this up with some truth.
Yeah, but I think that's great for you to be able to go out there and get these children interested in camera and all these things, you know, so.
This is, I'm just going
commend
to
you
make a
guys
straight
for
up
that.
brag to you. We have absolutely, I'm just telling you straight up, we absolutely changed young people's lives in ways that they don't know. They have talents they don't know they have. They have experiences they don't know they have. And we've graduated award-winning film directors. One of our young men, Brian Reshort, won the Tribeca Film Festival last year, came through AOC. We've got people creating movies, creating content. Most of you may remember the old days we had the wrestling show with This Week in Wrestling with Judd Lorman. He's now starring in an NBC weekly program. People come through and find out things about themselves when they make programming and when they talk. And there's the interpersonal skill and the thinking skill and the expression skill, but there's also the technical skill. And if you don't have digital media skills going forward, you might as well be in 1988 without a pencil. You're going to be lost. You got to know how to deal with the digital world. That's what we do. And I really want to say again, thanks for the time. This has been extraordinary. I thought I'd be out of here by now. I was hoping to be out of here by now. All right.
Huh? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
One more, another question.
It's all good.
In regards to, with several bands and musicians not being able to perform, what does AOC offer if they want to go live stream and do Venmo or PayPal? Is that?
You're starting to make money with this. We can't do that. We don't, we're not into helping you make money. We'd let you play for nothing at our place and probably show that. And you could say, hey, it'd be cool if we had tips, but you can't sit up and make money with it straight up.
Yeah, I had a few questions from other musicians, so I just wanted to ask that here. You know, I know back in the day you used to have the Dino Boudreaux show years and years ago, so I didn't know, I'm just asking the question for somebody else.
Well, sure, and it's a fair question. Everything is non-commercial. And if you, as people who are going to get those calls, if you get a call that somebody's using us for commercial purposes, let me know immediately, and then they lose privileges.
I know you were a big help in a year or two ago, allowing myself and some of the council members to push the fire protection on.
Those were town hall meetings. I think we did 6 of those for you.
Yeah,
Something like
so
that.
I do appreciate it. We need to get together because there's a
We'll do it
proposition on
again.
the ballot for.
Do it again.
Yeah.
There are minor rules that you can follow, that you can't politic, but you can express facts right and left. And I would encourage you to do that. You can pre-spin a whole lot of the things that people are going to hit you with just by telling them ahead of time.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, sir, thank you.
That's it?
Yes, that's it.
Kuya. I do appreciate you as individuals
Thank
again.
you.
Since this is over, sincerely, the work you do, even if I don't like what you're doing, is remarkable. I sincerely appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's
thank
not
you.
easy to be any of you. It really isn't.
Okay, Cindy, please read item number 6.
Update from Smile CEO on CARES Act funding availability.
Okay, I'd like to call the Smile, the CEO for Smiles. I'd like you to come up, please, Mr. Greg Matthew. Tell us your name and what you do. Thank you. I'll put it on. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, both chairmen of this joint chamber, Mayor President, to the other men and women of the council, of both councils. My name is Craig Matthews, Craig A. Matthews for the record, 1T in Matthews. I'm the current Chief Executive Officer at Smile Community Action Agency. I want to take the opportunity to thank both chairmen for your acknowledgement and for agreeing to put this item on the agenda tonight. especially you, Councilman Lewis, as a long-term supporter and advocate for Smile Community Action Agency, and to the other members of these two distinguished chambers. I see some friends of mine, Councilman Carlson, my longtime friend. It's nice to see you again, and Councilman Lazard. Those that I do know, and the others I look forward to getting to know you a lot better as we progress in the work that we do on behalf of communities. I also want to thank Ms. Veronica for your unprecedented assistance in helping me to get here tonight, and I do apologize in advance to our community for not having the slides available on the overhead, as you did extend that opportunity to me, but I didn't realize that my team was going to do such a beautiful job in making it so colorful and attractive. I believe that you have copies in your possession, and so I also want to acknowledge for just a moment those members of our administrative team that are here. If you could just stand and let them see who you are. I did bring my reinforcement for the tough questions that I anticipate after my presentation concludes, those that I can't answer. And I do have a couple of board members that are present for Smile as well, if you all would just stand and be acknowledged. Mr. Ronald Cormier and Ms. Mary Baptiste are executive officers of the Smile Community Action Board. They serve the Lafayette population. We are required as a tripartite board that serves 3 primary parishes in our service area of Acadiana to have 1/3 of our makeup from each of the 3 parishes. And so there's an 18-member board, 6 of which represent the Lafayette community. And so 2 of those folks are here tonight. So I want to thank them for their presence as well. I thought it prudent to come before this council tonight, or before this joint chamber rather. I've anticipated making this presentation or something along these lines for the past 2 years and 2 months. Since I've been assigned to this post at Smile, but just had not been able to do so because when I got to the office for the first time, I realized that I was going to be quite busy.
Excuse me, sir, can you take off your mask, please?
Oh, yes, certainly.
you.
I was trying to be considerate, but I think she's going to clean it when I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's so much better. As I stated, the urgency seemed to be more pressing to come before you tonight, as there's been so many things that have transpired in our human existence, particularly over the last 4 or 5 months or so. And the resources that Smile provides are becoming increasingly demanding on the part of the people, the most vulnerable people in our communities. And it just occurred to me that perhaps there might be members of these 2 governing bodies that might not be quite as familiar with the work that Smile produces on behalf of our constituency. So it's with those sentiments that we're here tonight, just to kind of enlighten you a little bit, and encourage questions, and also, of course, your participation as we continue to roll out the important work that we do. So you have the slides before you. I'm going to just talk generally through those slides. I'm not going to follow those exactly in my remarks, but throughout the course of my dialogue, you'll hear me make reference to several of the items that are in your handouts. So I thought it would be important to just share with you all that may not be as familiar with the history of Smile Community Action Agency and what we refer to commonly now as community action programs. At one time, we were called across the nation CAAs, or Community Action Agencies. That name has been become a little bit more formalized throughout the various administrations, and we're now called Community Action Programs, or CAPs. And right now, in the state of Louisiana, there are 42 community action programs around the state's landscape. And so Smile is one of the, I would say, the 3rd largest community action agency in the state of Louisiana in terms of the volume of funding that we receive from state and federal resources. And it's important that we note that the Community Action Agency model began in the 1960s as a part of the Lyndon B. Johnson administration's Civil Rights Act. And it was in 1968 that Smile was formed and became a formal entity with the board of directors and began administering federal and state programs. And so it was at that time that, of course, the nation declared a war on poverty. And so community action agencies began to emerge across the country, and there was an appropriation by Congress through what's called community services block grants. And so that became one of the principal funding sources for community action agencies to provide a variety of services, human and social services, that would assist families in moving them along the spectrum of climbing out of poverty and finding their own route to self-sufficiency. And so SMILE has been fighting the war on poverty, ladies and gentlemen, in the Acadiana region, particularly in the Lafayette community, for a little over 52 years now. So that's over half a century. And so we're very proud of the track record that SMILE has been able to muster over this course of time, and particularly of the state and federal partnerships that have evolved through that work. In so doing, ladies and gentlemen, SMILE has been allocated a total of approximately $1.1 million in community services block grant funding. Now, somewhere across those decades, the Department of Health and Human Services also created, under the Office of Community Services, what's called, and what many in the community would relate to in terms of SMILE's service portfolio, as the LAHEAP program, Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program. And so currently, across the nation, across the United States of America, the LAHEAP program is about a $3.7 billion program nationwide. And I'm proud to say that in the state of Louisiana, SMILE has the lion's share of that funding, or I'd say we're third in the running in terms of that lion's share, with a total of about $3.8 million annually that's allocated across 5 parishes, in addition to the St. Martin, Iberia, and Lafayette parishes that we initially started with. We have recently acquired the contracts for Jeff Davis and Acadia parishes. So that's a 5-parish area over which that allocation is distributed. Now, Lafayette, of course, having the largest population, receives the bulk of that $3.8 million to a tune of somewhere around $700,000 or $800,000 that's directly infused into this local economy. And so I know that our friends at LUS, SMILE, when the invoices come in, SMILE is the place where we like to make people smile. And so we know that LUS smiles when those checks and those invoices roll in. And I say that facetiously, ladies and gentlemen, but the impact is enormous. I can recall a conversation that one of our program supervisors had with Ms. Chasson, Lisa Chasson, at the LUS office about 3 or 4 months ago, on the initial onset of this pandemic, when she shared with us that LUS was looking down the barrel of about a $1.4 million deficit in terms of the utility payments that were already beginning to show in arrears because of the citizens that were unable to pay those utility bills. And of course, we know that our nation put a freeze on those payments temporarily. But SMILE was able to, over the course of that several-week period, able to directly infuse, I think, somewhere between $250,000 to $300,000 directly into LUS's bottom line because of those utility payments that families were unable to pay. So most families that came to us for those services during the pandemic relief efforts received somewhere in the neighborhood of about $400 to $600 in terms of a direct benefit that was allocated to their utility bills. And so for many families, that's an enormous blessing and an enormous benefit. So we're very, very proud to be able to contribute to not only the local economy, but to contribute to the well-being and the sustaining ability of families to continue to make ends meet during this very difficult time. In addition to that, and that CARES money came directly through an allocation of additional funds from the Office of Community Services for LAHEAP in the amount of about $1.3 million. In addition to our regular allocation, over the last several weeks, we've received an additional $1.3 million, of which about $600,000 has been allocated directly to the citizens of Lafayette. So you're going you should already be seeing that amount applied to the credits on LUS's tab. But in addition to what's already there, as we continue to input that data into our computer system and it filters into the state office, those credits will continue to be added to that account. And that has made a huge impact in this economy. In addition to that LAHEAP CARES money, we also received an additional allocation of CSBG funds. Remember, I told you that the regular allocation annually is about $1.1 million. Of the $24 million that the state of Louisiana receives from the federal government, which equates to a national allocation of about $750 million in CSBG funds. So SMILE, in addition to that $1.1 million of CSBG money, we also received an additional $1.5 million over the last several weeks to assist families with rental and mortgage assistance to prevent foreclosures and evictions. I think about 65% of that $1.5 million has gone directly into mortgage and rental assistance that families are already coming into our offices to receive, not just in Lafayette, but across the 3-parish area of our initial service area, which includes St. Martin and Iberia. But of course, the bulk of that is being extended in the community of Lafayette. In addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, we understand that it's because of the critical partnerships that SMILE has been able to garner and maintain with state and federal agencies across its 52-year history, that SMILE is in an advantageous position to be able to receive those additional funds, particularly during what we think are the most devastating times in our human existence. We've seen these events occur during natural disasters, such as the flood of 2016, where SMILE received additional money from those federal partners during that event as well. Also, we're constantly being bombarded with hurricanes that devastate our local communities across the Acadiana region. SMILE is on the front lines of those relief efforts as well. And so it's important that as we continue to do this work going forward, that not only do we capitalize upon our federal and state partnerships, but that we also realize the local opportunities that we have as a local government, as local government agencies, and as community providers to partner together. Now, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as a corporate executive of a major nonprofit corporation, as a private business owner, and certainly as an elected official, I get it. I understand how challenging it is to continue to meet the demands, the very challenging demands of our citizenry as we see these natural occurrences happen where people's lives are put in grave jeopardy. But we believe at SMILE that the remedy to this is collaboration, to continue to scan our communities, to identify local resources that will give us unique opportunities to partner and to leverage and enhance existing relationships and even form new ones that are going to continue to catapult citizens to a greater level of self-sufficiency. So we understand the challenges that you face. And our appeal to you tonight is to continue to recognize SMILE as a vital community partner in your processes of meeting the needs of your citizens. Now, I don't mean to poke the bear or to call out the elephant in the room, but it's no secret to me, and it's been painfully evident, not only during the 2 years of my administration in this role, but as a community leader in the Acadiana area, that the relationship between SMILE and this local government over the years has become strained. And ladies and gentlemen, as I stand before you tonight, I make an appeal to this joint chamber to help me to bring SMILE to the table in a manner that we can together overcome the strains in our relationship. Because when we choose as community leaders to allow those relationship strains, regardless as to what they may derive from, could be previous administrations, could be some of the executive and board leadership that has been at the helm of providing these services through SMILE, it could be just some misunderstanding. But whatever the case may be, I implore you, because when we allow the strains in those relationships to become the precedents, then we cause people, the people in our communities, to continue to suffer, and to suffer at an even greater level. So tonight, we make this public appeal that we want to work with the Lafayette Consolidated Government. We want to bring these resources, and we want to challenge ourselves to bring additional resources, non-traditional resources, that are going to help our community to thrive. That's what we've been doing for 52 years, and we're going to continue to do it for the next 50 and beyond. And we want to do it as in a partnership, not in a silo. Thank you for your attention and for your consideration. I'm available to answer any questions that you may have tonight or even beyond our conversation at this time.
I have a comment.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've been a big supporter of you guys for many, many
Yes,
years
sir.
and what have you. And I see you have your administrations over here.
Yes, sir.
But there's some other people that I don't see them, like Miss Wilson. You know, they normally take pictures, so I'm
Miss
so used
Hilda?
to. Yes, Miss Hilda, yeah, where are they?
She didn't make it
Oh, she
tonight,
didn't
but
make it
she
tonight?
definitely sends her regards.
Oh,
And
okay,
she
she
said,
does.
if you don't see her in this environment, you'll definitely see her in another one.
Okay, because we're always willing to see Miss Hilda.
She's our resource provider, and she's always making connections within the community.
Exactly.
And,
That's
you know,
what I'm
making
getting
sure
at.
that Smile is at the table.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I mean, these people here too, they do a fantastic
Yes, sir.
job too, but you always recognize people.
But Hilda runs circles
Yeah,
around
run
all
circle. I
of
mean, she's always taking pictures, always doing something. Okay.
We do have a housing development director. I failed to mention that
Yeah.
Smile is also a CHOTO, one
Okay.
of the few in the state.
Sure.
I think there are about 16 CHOTOs around the state. That's a community housing development organization. And so we are striving right now to expand upon our service portfolio to offer more affordable housing to low-income families through multifamily housing developments. Our first one has already started in New Iberia, but we're looking forward to doing some work in Lafayette as well, and in St. Martin. So we're going to be doing multifamily developments as well as some single-family rehab and new construction. And Mr. Marcus Harris is our housing director. Ms. Freddie Robertson is our chief operating officer. I see Ms. Nia Vernon. She's our Lafayette Parish manager. Ms. Denise Levy is our accounting specialist. I see Ms. Chantel, our CFO. Ms. Vanessa
Oh, Ms. Vanessa, okay.
Williams.
Yeah,
She's
Ms.
also
Vanessa.
another one that you might
Yeah,
see
she's all
scan
right,
in the
right,
community. Did I miss anybody from Smile? Of course, I've already acknowledged our board members. Yes, sir. So they're here. Now, they can answer the tough questions.
Sure they can. Okay, Mr. Lazar.
Hello, my good friend Craig.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great,
How are you?
great. I'm obviously very familiar with Smile,
Yes, sir.
having been a former board member for about 7, 8 years.
Yes, sir.
And one of the primary needs right now, obviously, and you touched on it, is housing.
Yes, sir.
And the development that you all in the process of doing in Iberia Parish.
Correct.
And that's great. I certainly applaud you all for that. But right across the street from the administrative offices, they have this paradox of people sleeping on the sidewalks
Yes, sir.
right outside the administrative offices,
Yes, sir.
and we have a complex sitting right there that could be housing 4 families.
Yes, sir.
That's been closed now for some time. Are there any plans, or have we identified a pathway to reopening that shelter?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that question. That's a great question. We do have one family that's occupying one portion of that unit right now. We do have plans to expand and put some additional housing services in that premises. Whether or not you're familiar, Mr. Lazard, Smile did operate a portion of the homelessness prevention grant funds through the partnership with Arch for several years. And unfortunately, that is one of the grants that was terminated several years ago prior to, of course, my administration. We're looking to this year recompete for those funds. We tried to compete 2 years ago, but because when I took the position at Smile, I had recently resigned from my position as chairman of the board at Arch. And so, of course, there's a 2-year waiting period before Smile can be eligible to compete for those funds again because of the conflict of interest. So we are looking now that 2 years has expired, at reclaiming some of those funds, and I hope the folks at Arch are listening to me right now. We're coming after that grant, after some of that grant funding, so that we can reestablish those homelessness prevention services on those premises.
Okay, great, thank
And
you.
we have a couple of other options as well that can help leverage those resources.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Rubin.
Hey, I just have a comment for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you guys for all that you guys are doing. I have sent several people to you for different reasons.
Yes, sir.
And each time you guys have stepped up and helped people with light bills, mortgage, food,
Yes, sir.
several other things. And I've worked with you guys as far as feeding families during the holidays too.
Yes, sir.
So all I want to do is commend you guys for what you guys are doing and just tell y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you, Councilman Rubin. I'm glad you mentioned that. One of the other areas of service delivery through our CSBG program, and this is probably important information for this constituency, is that because of the nature of those CSBG dollars, there's a lot of flexibility in terms of the types of services that we're able to offer the community. In addition to housing and mortgage rental assistance, we've been able to send people back to school. We have memorandums of agreement with each of the community colleges within this Lafayette area. Delta Community College, Remington, SLCC, ULL, all of those institutions are partnering with SMILE to help individuals return to school, some to go to school for the first time, to pursue advanced degrees and certifications. So we're able to assist with that as well. Also, employment assistance. Of course, we know the employment statistics in our area are alarming, and they're increasing, they're rising. We're able to assist with some employment support services. There's been people that have come to us that may have been eligible for promotions on their job, but it requires a TWIC card. It requires certain equipment and materials in order for them to become promoted or be employed in those positions. We're able to provide those resources so that those families can have the opportunity to experience some greater level of income.
Mr. Guillory.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And also, Mr. Matthews, I just want to tell you, thank you for everything that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
I know you have a lot of work ahead of you, but you've, in the last year alone, I can tell you, just talking with President Larry Richard of Iberia,
Yes,
President Chester Cedars of St. Martin, we talk a lot about this program. And, you know, you're working so hard, and a lot of times people don't take the time to tell you that you're doing a good job. And I think you hear it from our two councils today, and you definitely hear it from the administration. If there's anything we can do to help, I know that you have allies here too. So
Yes,
a lot of work ahead of us, and we're honored to have you as a partner. So we appreciate your staff and your board members, and thank you for what you do for our community.
Thank you, Mr. Guillory. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you all.
Yes, sir.
It's been a blessing, and we look forward to more.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you. Okay, we'll move along. Ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker cards are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read item number 7.
Joint Ordinance 71, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending Chapter 98 of the Lafayette City-Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances and enacting Article 10 therein relative to the issuance of permits to operators of shared mobility devices within the city and parish of Lafayette, and establishing rules and regulations applicable to permittees and users associated with the use and operation of same.
Okay, I need a motion and a second from the city council.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Liz Hebert. Second by Mr. Andy Nakane.
Okay, need a motion and a second from the parish council. Councilman Carlson with the motion, second by Councilman Gilbo.
Legal has submitted an amendment to change in section 98204D1, the program administrator's fee from $175 to $120 per shared mobility device. I need a motion and a second from the city council to amend. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Lazar.
All right, I need a motion by the parish council to amend. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Rubin.
Okay, council discussion? Okay, I see no one want to discuss. Okay, Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from each council to amend.
District 3,
Yes.
It's parish
City.
or city?
City District 3,
I'm sorry, what district?
City district.
City?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
city.
said it. I said
Okay,
yes.
no, no.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3, Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5. The motion to amend is approved.
Okay, Councilmember Andy Nakane submitted an amendment to change the age from 15 years old to 16 years of age in Section 8, in Section 98-207A2. I need a motion and a second from the City Council. Motion by Ms. Annette Cook, second by Mr. Andy Nakane.
Need a motion from the parish council? Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Rubin.
Any council discussion? No one? Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Vote from each council to amend.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5, Parish District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt from the City Council is approved. The motion to adopt from the Parish Council is approved.
Okay, I need a vote from each council to adopt as amended.
City District 5,
Yes.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5, Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt as amended is approved.
Okay, Cindy, please read item number 8.
Joint Ordinance 72, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the increase of revenues in the amount of $36,000 received from the Recycling Partnership appropriating within the Public Works Department Recycling Division for the Residential Curbside Recycling Program.
Motion and a second from the City Council. Motion by Ms. Annette Cook, second by Ms. Liz Hebert.
Okay, need a motion and a second from the parish council. Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson.
Council discussion? Ms. Cook?
Is there someone here that can come and speak to this? Is EQ is here? Or just kind of give us, maybe the public, a rundown of what this is? Thank you.
Hi, Bess Foray, Environmental Quality Manager. Yeah, this is a grant that we worked on with Recycling Partnership to really address some of the contamination issues that are going on in our citywide recycling program. We do have Republics here later, so we can get into a little bit more detail. But the $36,000 that we're receiving is going to go towards a cart audit that is going to be boots on the ground, looking in the cart, really getting some good education out there for our residents who are involved in the recycling program. We do have matching funds that we are providing, but all of the matching funds that are come through part of our contract with the Republic that gives us $15,000 a year for this, for public education. And so we're using just those funds as matching funds and the $36,000. So we're putting up about 48, and they're giving us about 36. And it's going to be a month-long, really intensive education program for our community.
Okay, so I'm understanding, so then the money from Republic that they do for education, that was used actually as a match?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, nothing is coming out of our EQ fund. We have a little bit of matching with staff, like their time, but yeah, all of the funds, it's just coming from the money that we get through the contract, revenue.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Bess.
Before I get to you, Who's next? Mr. Nakane. I just want everyone to know that the AOC went off air for a while, so just deal with, I think they're trying to bring it back up.
Yeah, we're trying to bring it back up. I was notified a couple of times, too, that it went off.
Okay.
Is that censorship?
Yes, sir.
Did Ed leave already? He just did his presentation.
See what happened? Yeah, he cut us off.
That's what he get for saying he don't like what we're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He don't like what
We
we're
don't have
doing.
to stop the meeting?
No, we'll continue on. Mr. Nakane, go ahead on. You have a question.
Ms. Ford, excuse me. This recycling program was a model for many areas of the country, I understand, at one time. But then we came into a problem with, obviously, contamination. And that's minimum amount is maximum amount of 15%. So if you have 40 homes really participating well, cleaning their recyclables, and making sure that what they put and is picked up is good, but you have 10 homes that don't, now you got 20% contamination, and when that stuff gets dumped in a truck, and I'm talking about garbage mixed in with the clean recyclables, that whole truck can't go to be recycled. It's got to go to the dump. So it's creating a major issue for this recycling program for not only y'all, but also for Republic. This is a very important program right here, this money. This education is going to be very good for this whole city. People need to understand that this program is a good program, and it will work if we work to make it work. But it's going to take cooperation from everyone, every participant, to do this properly. Those light blue lids are not for crawfish. They're not for chicken waste. They're not for yard waste. This is very important that we work toward this, because we may lose this program one day. And we have no idea how much this is saving our landfill, how much it's doing for our community. At home, my recycling bin might be full to the top, but my garbage bin has 1/3. It's amazing what you can do if you participate. Please, everybody, listen to these people and adhere to what they say. This is for the good of everybody. This is for the whole. Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. I have a few constituents, I'm sure some of my colleagues have some constituents as well, that do not participate with the recycling, and because they don't want to, and they still are being charged. Is there anything we can do about that?
Well, the answer to that really is no. I mean, it's part of the program that we want everyone to participate and participate correctly. It is good for the community, just like Mr. Narcan just went over. It is, but the, trying to administer, taking that $2.68 off the bill per month, it's just, it needs to be that everybody pays and participates for this to work like it needs to. So the answer is no. We get that question occasionally.
Oh, you do get that? I just want to make sure that, the question is asked and the answer is that no.
Right.
And you're saying that it's $2 a month, a week?
It's $2.68 a month for your recycling service in the city, correct? It's
Okay.
on your LUS bill.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Carlson?
Yes, I couldn't agree more with Councilman Nakane. I think this program is extremely important. What's the likelihood of, in the future, extending this program to the unincorporated areas of the parish? That's the question I probably get asked outside of drainage, is when can we have the ability to recycle?
Well, it all comes down to cost. We have looked at that previously, in the city, when we changed over the contract and everybody got a card in 2016, part of what we looked into was the cost of that, or apartment complexes, different things. It comes down to everybody's cost is going to go up because it's just a little bit more difficult to handle those rural areas and the houses, being farther apart, those types of things. But when the contract does come up for bid, that is something that we can look at for sure.
I don't know from a legal side if we can differentiate. This seems to keep coming up more and more. It came up in planning and zoning, but I almost differentiate between the areas that are in that small little area between the city of Lafayette and Broussard should be a nominal, should be able to charge the same fee versus if you're on the outside of some of the municipalities where you truly are in a rural area. But where I live, I'm 100 feet from the city limits of Lafayette. And so Is there a way to differentiate between those areas?
We can absolutely look into that. I do know there are occasions where if there's a active HOA or something where there's a neighborhood that gets together, they can go to Republic directly or to whatever vendor they want and get their recycling done that way. But let me check in to see how that would work if they're outside of the city limits, but still kind of, where there's a lot of homes and see what we can do. There is someone from Republic who is going to be here later during the city meeting. He may be able to speak to that somewhat, too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I just want everyone to know we back on the air. AOC, put us back up. Okay, welcome back. Mr. Andy Nakane.
Just one other comment. Are there not drop-off points for people who live in the parish, throughout the parish, or just certain
There's
areas?
just the one that is actually on BJ Services Road, which is where the Republic offices are, where everything that we accept curbside can be dropped off there. That's a good point, that, there is that outlet. And so that is something that if you don't get the curbside, you could do it that way.
Yeah, it might be a little inconvenient, but it's there.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, Beck, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any public comments?
No, sir?
Okay, I need a call for the vote to adopt the ordinance from each council.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5, City District 5,
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Parish District 5,
Yes.
Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt from the City Council is approved. The motion to adopt from the Parish Council is approved.
Continue, Cindy, please. Appointments by council members, mayor, president, and/or any other direct appointments authority.
Mayor President Josh Guillory appointed Joyce Lynn to the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team for a 4-year term effective September 1st, 2019. Mayor President Josh Guillory appointed Africa Orsino to the Evangeline Thruway Redevelopment Team for a 4-year term effective January 1st, 2020. Area mayors appointed John Abear to the Lafayette Airport Commission for a 4-year term effective August 6, 2020. Area mayors appointed Calvin Leger to the Bayou Vermilion District for a 4 years and 3-month term effective July 13, 2020.
Here I have announcement that item number 9 and item number 10 has been withdrawn as per the mayor president request. Okay, introductory item. Cindy, please read. Introductory ordinance, I'm sorry.
Joint Ordinance 74-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the University of Louisiana at Lafayette regarding study of flooding and channel capacity within Lafayette Parish.
Okay, let's see. Comments from the public concerning the above introductory ordinance? Okay.
We did have one citizen who did not wish to speak, who signed in to support the ordinance.
Okay,
need a motion
I
and
need
a
a motion and a second. Yeah, need a motion and a second? Yeah. Motion from Mr. Andy Nakane, second from Liz. Okay. Go ahead, you, then I'm gonna get to you.
Councilman Carlson. Councilman Gilbo.
Okay. Council discussion, I'm sorry, Mr. Josh Carlson?
This is really for the administration. So my understanding is the way that this ordinance is written is that LCG will have the rights to the results from this study, this partnership with UL. My concern is, or something I want to ensure, is that I would like to see us actually get the modeling so that we can add it to the modeling that we're doing, that we have other engineering firms, and we don't just have access to the results, but we have access to the model as well, to add it in to existing models, future models, and it's not just something that we get the data, but we don't have a way to add it into other work that we're doing. Exactly. Thank you. I do support this, by the way, but that is one concern I'd like us to look into.
And also, just to the councils, we're very appreciative of the university. We're very blessed to have a great university here in our backyard in Lafayette. So they're doing a good job, and very excited about the work that we're going to enter into.
Ms. Cook?
Yes, I'd like to also say thank you for doing this, for making that arrangement happen, and I would like to also echo what Josh Carlson said as well. If we could maybe, I mean, the cost of doing the modeling, and that we could maybe have the opportunity to own it, or to basically do it ourselves, I think moving down the road would be probably more beneficial for us. So I would like to encourage that as well, so thanks for bringing that up. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And Dr. Habib and all the engineering group over there, they understand the bigger model way better than I do. But every conversation we have, it's always about the watershed and the initiative. So this should build into and build up from previous models. And I think these are good questions and good concerns that you have.
Okay, Mr. Nakane, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. There are, apparently, according to this introductory ordinance, 4 different scenarios they're going to be studying. That is the case?
Is it 4? I think it's 4. Yeah, 4. And we do
different
have our Director of
projects.
Public Works here. He's given us the north and south.
So this gives us a lot of variables and means to possibly assist our whole parish in drainage and water retention.
Yes, sir. And also our watershed, too. So we want to be good neighbors and share the data.
Correct. Yeah, because we got to realize that what we do affects everyone else around us too, so. This is very interesting. I can't wait to see the results, and it's a very worthwhile project, and it's going to give our students at UL a very challenging function here, very challenging program for them, so it'll be interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Then I call for each council to introduce the joint ordinance, introductory ordinance.
City District 1,
Yes?
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5.
Yes.
The motion to introduce by the City Council is approved. The motion to introduce by the Parish Council is approved.
Okay. I adjourn the parish council meeting.
Join the joint meeting and the city council meeting.
The city council meeting will begin shortly thereafter.